Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about why a lot of producers or would-be producers create beats but then never finish them. So, if you give me the next 5 minutes, I'll show you how to finish every beat, every track that you start the easy way. And if you'd like a free step-by-step guide on how to create a professional sounding track in under 2 hours using only a low-cost DAW, FL Studio, and some free stuff that you can find on the internet with no music theory knowledge needed and no experience needed, just go ahead and write the word yes, Y-E-S, in the comments below, and I will DM that over to you. Now, my name is Jason Dowdy. I've been a music producer and artist for over 20 years now. I've worked with people like Timbaland and Aaliyah back in the day. And I like to help independent artists learn how to produce for themselves so they can take their career to that next level. All right. And if you want that free training, just go ahead and write the word yes. Produce your professional track using a low cost DAW in under 2 hours. Write the word yes in the comments below, and I will DM that over to you. All right, so let's get into it. So, like, I really got into music production. I was an artist first, right? Like back in 99, 2000, back in those days. And I really didn't get deep into production until around 2005 when, everybody was on MySpace and I was using something called Fruity Loops, which is now FL Studio. And even from the beginning, I was pretty good at it, right? Well, at least I was good at making 8 to 16 bars sound good. But what I was not good at was finishing beats. I mean, I remember looking at my hard drive and there were like over 120 of them that were just like great 8-bar loops, but I never finished them. So I asked myself why. I took a step back. And here are the top 5 answers that I came up with. So let me share my screen real quick. All right. Bear with me. Here we go. All right, so here are the top 5 reasons that, my beats were unfinished, and maybe these are some of the same reasons. If you're having trouble finishing your stuff, these may be the same reasons that you have as well. So let's start with number 5. Let me unhighlight it real quick. Try to do it all at once. So sometimes you get in that creative flow and you've created this great 8 to 16 bars and you wanna try to you figure like, "I should be able to finish the beat in 1 session." Well, in the beginning, when you're learning those skills and you're still figuring everything out, that's a lot to ask. Now from an experienced producer who's been doing it for years, sure, you can, finish an entire beat in 1 session. You may wanna come back and check the mix after you get some fresh ears, but you could do that. But if you're trying to do everything at once, build that 8 bars, build that 16 bars, build an A and B section, do the transitions, the fills, the everything you wanna add, that can be a lot to ask. So and, you can't do everything at once, so give yourself, break, give yourself some rest, come back, with some, fresh energy and fresh ears and finish your track. All right, number 4, waiting for inspiration. So a lot of the time, you feel like, "Oh, I just don't feel like being creative now," or, "I just ain't vibing with any music, so I'm not gonna produce anything." If you're waiting all day for inspiration, you're never gonna finish anything. So, don't wait for inspiration, schedule time, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's look at number 3, though. Technical confusion. So sometimes a technical roadblock, like your computer crashes, or you can't figure out how to do an automation or what to click on, and then you're like kind of in a creative flow, and then you got to go to YouTube and look up something on how to do something, and when you get back, you're not in that flow anymore. Like technical confusion can be part of it as well. Number 2, it's good enough. So it's good enough is the enemy of great or amazing music, right? So, "Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I like that. That's a great 8 bars. Alright, I'm gonna call it a day," right? If you settle for good enough, it's gonna not inspire you to actually finish and put those pieces of detail in your song that makes it it's moments. When you create moments in your song, and you can't do that playing the same 8 bars over and over again, right? Creating moments in your songs like, sudden drops or a swelling emotion, as you build and build and build, those types of things, that takes time and it takes attention to detail, and that's what takes your work from good to great. All right, and let's look at the number 1 reason. And I would say this is the biggest reason, and it's a reason it's number 1. The magic is gone, right? You get inspired. You create this beat. Oh yeah, that's a dope beat. I love this. This sounds great. All right, I got that out of my system, right? Then it turns into work, right? After that inspiration is gone, and after you've created something that sounds good and gives you a feeling, that's when you have to start the work, the organizing, the formatting, the transitions, this, that, creating moments, all of that. Um, you either need to find a way to keep the magic going or to have the self-discipline to actually get in there and keep at it until it's finished. So here are what can you do? What can you do about it? About these roadblocks that may stop you from finishing beats. So, one thing you can do is schedule time to create. And I brought this up earlier. So, schedule some time. Don't wait for inspiration. And it doesn't necessarily need to be every day. It depends on how serious you are about your production or if you want to grow as a producer, right? But schedule time, even if it's just once a week that, I have 2 hours on Saturday I can produce. Whatever it is, schedule that time, sit down, you will find inspiration. There's inspiration everywhere. Number two, use templates. So there are a lot of templates available that you can get, or you can create your own. But you may want to have your channels labeled by instrument type, or have your drums bust. However you like to make music, you may want to have different formats to choose from, like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, whatever it is. So you have those templates ready, so you already have the structure when you sit down to create. All right, number three, live with your beat and then fine tune it, right? Don't think you're finished just because you have a great 8 to 16 bars, and it's not even really finished even if you have it formatted. Live with your beat, listen to it, at nighttime or when you're away. You'll get a fresh perspective on it, and you'll come up with new ideas and ways to improve it. So live with it for a minute. Don't call it done before it's done, right? Until it's through, nothing new, mostly, right? So until you're done working on that particular beat, don't move on to the next. And that might be just keeping at that 8 bars for a while, right? Something's not clicking, something's not working. Just stay in the same session though, and don't save something you're not happy with as a session and then move on to a new session. Stay in that session, and even if you have to scrap everything or change the tempo, it's good to build the habit of just staying in that session. And the reason I put the word mostly here is, there might be an instance where, you're working with somebody else and you want to kind of capture lightning in a bottle while you have a chance to work with them. If that's the case, yeah, it's okay to not finish the beat you were just working on, right? You want to capture that. But for the most part, until it's through, nothing new. And I just covered this. Yep. Don't give up on your session. Even if you end up with a completely different song. So that was number 5. So we already covered that, right? So I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you adopt a finishing mentality for your music. If you'd like a free training on here, let me stop sharing my screen real quick. If you'd like a free training on how to create a professional sounding track in less than 2 hours using just the producer version of FL Studio and free things you can find on the internet, write the word yes in the comments below and I'll DM that over to you. But until then,